Hi there, my name is Jamie Valente. I am the Student Life and Leadership Manager at South Campus, and I'm here today to tell you about what our department does. So I'm going to start out here by sharing my screen. All right, okay. So I have a PowerPoint here that we are going to use to follow along here. So what is Student Life and Leadership? Some of you may have an idea. Maybe you saw a screen in the online orientation, or a counselor advisor told you about a little bit about what we do, but odds are you probably don't know the full scale. Our department handles many different things. So in general, when you think of student life and leadership, you think of extracurricular activities. We do most of the extracurricular programming on campus, but there's more to it than that. So we host programs that are considered campus life. These tend to be social, fun programs. We oversee all student organizations. So if you want to get involved in a student org or perhaps start a new one, you'll come to us for that. We host leadership development programming, community service. We oversee the student section of the student centers, and also the Macomb One Card ID photo station. We have an office both at Center Campus and South Campus. We do all of these things at both campuses. So before I get more in depth into each of those categories, I first want to talk about why it's important to get involved. And this is just a small overview. Honestly, there's more to it than this, but these are some of the more important key factors. So one, if you get involved, you're going to gain experience that helps you to stand out on a resume or transfer application, or when you're applying for scholarships. It helps you to stand out against other students. Maybe you are applying for a scholarship for nursing. You're a nursing student, you are applying and competing against other students that are also in the nursing program and perhaps have the same GPA as you. So what's going to help you stand out? Well, partially it's going to be the extracurricular activities that you've done, the organizations that you're a part of, or maybe the volunteering that you've done, things like that. But like I said, it's also, if you're transferring to, say, a four-year institution, well, that four-year institution likely also has a student life department of, might have a different name, but similar to this. And if they see that you're involved at Macomb, it's likely that you're going to also be involved at their institution, and they want to see that. In addition to that, students who get involved tend to do better academically than students who don't. The data proves this across the world, but we also track our students at Macomb who get involved. And every single year, students who were involved in leadership programming, student organizations, and things like that, overall did better than students who weren't. And there's many different reasons for that. It's partially because you're more invested, you start to care more, you gain access to more resources, you get more connections when you get involved. There's so many reasons for it, but it's important to know that it's true, and it certainly is true at Macomb because we have the data to show that. It's getting involved is an opportunity to network, meet new people. Say you're a part of a student organization and you get to know your advisor really well. Well, that could become a really important letter of recommendation later on. I've had students who maybe ended up getting a job later on down the road because their advisor helped connect them to someone at a local business or organization, things like that. And also just meeting new people. I've had students that truly have met lifelong friends through activities that they've been a part of at Macomb. So all of that's very important. And then also getting involved helps you become a more civically engaged person. We'll talk about this, but there's opportunities to do community service and volunteer and get involved in helping with voter registration numbers and things like that. There's so many ways to get involved in your community, and on top of what you may already be doing on your own, we have the ability to connect you with a ton of resources as well. So like I said, there's more to it than this, but those are just a few ways that getting involved can be very important to you. So let's go back into those categories that I mentioned at the very beginning. We have campus life, which I mentioned is more of the social programming that we do. Things like trips. We, in the past, take students on a day trip to Chicago. We've done more local trips like the Renaissance Festival. We have a lot of fair type events throughout the year, such as Welcome Week or Spring Fling. These are events where we give out a ton of prizes and have games and food, and oftentimes those are also an opportunity to find out about what Student Life and Leadership has planned, as well as meet our student organizations, because we often allow our student organizations to set up tables at those fair events. And so if you attend, you get a chance to peruse them, talk to the students at those tables, and learn more about what our student organizations are up to. We have a game room at both campuses, which has pool tables and gaming systems, and we host tournaments, things like that. So this year, of course, will be a little different because pretty much all of our programs are going to be virtual. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to continue to host campus life programs. We will, but they will be things like we're going to do an open mic night virtual. We are going to do trivia nights through Teams or Zoom and things like that. So hopefully the winter will go back to normal, but this fall we are going to be doing things a little bit different than we normally would. All right, I mentioned we oversee student organizations. They are entirely student-led, so what we have at any given moment just depends on what our students are interested in. We might have one year where we have a really active League of Legends group, and then those students may, say, transfer to another school, so maybe that one becomes inactive for a bit, but then Gay Straight Alliance becomes really active because we get some students in that are really passionate about creating a support group for our LGBTQ+ students on campus. So student organizations are super important especially if you don't have any leadership or supervisory experience yet. You can gain that by joining a student organization or starting a student organization. It gives you an opportunity to help plan events and meetings and do promotion for your group, help with recruitment and things like that. Really important. And you can find a full list of our student organizations on the portal. Under Student Life, there is then a Student Organizations tab where it'll list all of our student organizations, what they do, and how to contact a student or advisor to find out how to get more involved. And if you don't see a student organization that you're interested in, you can start one, which also looks really impressive when you are applying for jobs or transferring to another school, to be able to say, hey, I started this group from the ground up, and by the time I left Macomb, we had this many members, or we did this many events, things like that. It'll give you some real concrete examples of things that you accomplished at your time at the college, which is pretty cool. Okay, before I move on, I do want to highlight Phi Theta Kappa because it is a really important organization at the college. Phi Theta Kappa is the International Honor Society of the two-year college. It's not a fraternity, it's not a sorority, it's an honor society. In order to join, you need at least 12 credits completed at Macomb and a 3.5 GPA or higher. Once you meet those qualifications, you'll receive an invitation to join, and there's so many benefits to becoming a member. Number one are scholarships. There's many opportunities to earn scholarships through Phi Theta Kappa, but also that leadership development that I've talked about. There's so many opportunities to build leadership skills and get involved at the college and meet new people. And often our officers have meetings with college administrators, such as the president or the dean of students, or different key people at the college, because students in Phi Theta Kappa plan different events throughout the year. And in order to host those events, they need to collaborate with different departments and with those administrators. So you get the leadership development, you get scholarship opportunities, and it's also a really great way to just, show off your high academic achievements. Students who are members of Phi Theta Kappa have worked really hard for that grade point average. And when you join, you get a certificate in the mail, you get a membership pin. If you were to participate in the commencement ceremony, you could purchase a stolen tassel to signify to everyone in the audience that you're a member of that organization. So it's a way to really be able to show to the world how hard you worked and that you're a member of the organization. So if you are interested in learning more about Phi Theta Kappa, at the end of the PowerPoint, I will provide my contact info. And I am one of the co-advisors, along with Jen McCabe, who is the student life manager at Center Campus. So if you wanted to learn more, you could reach out to either one of us and we'd be happy to provide more information. So next we have volunteering. We typically do local volunteer opportunities once a month, and then we usually do 2 bigger programs as well. Our monthly volunteer events are things like events where Greening of Detroit, we work with that organization to plant trees in the city of Detroit, or Focus Hope, Gleaners, Arts and Scraps. We go to local nonprofit organizations and we volunteer with them for the day. This year, again, will be a little different, or this semester, I should say. We are working on a program where you will be able to volunteer virtually from your home. So either the event will be made up of things that you can just find materials at your house to do it, perhaps such as writing a letter to senior citizens or thank you notes to essential workers, things like that. Or it may be a type of an event where there's a little bit more supplies, so you need to, we would have like a supply pickup day where you could come to the campus, like a drive-through type setup where you would drive through, pick up your supplies, be able to go home and complete the project, and then we'd have a drop-off day as well. So you will still be able to volunteer this year, but like all of our programs, at least for the fall, it's going to look a little different. And then in addition to those smaller monthly events, we also do a large event for MLK Day of Service. And we typically also do an alternative spring break program where we take students out of the state during spring break to volunteer in a city outside of their own. We've gone to New York City, Washington, D.C., Nashville, Outer Banks, North Carolina, all over the place. We spend a few days volunteering, and then we spend a full day exploring the city that we're in. That's a more intense, often life-changing, in my opinion, program. We're not sure yet what that will look like this year, but you can reach out to me if you want to join our email listserv, and then you will get all the emails of our upcoming events and programs, such as in the winter what our alternative break program will look like, and I'll be able to give you more information about it at that time. All right, so leadership, honestly, leadership, hopefully you gain some sort of leadership skill or information in every program that we host, but we also have specific leadership workshops throughout the year. And that's no different this semester. We'll be doing them virtually, but you will be able to attend workshops to learn about different leadership topics and skills and things like that. There are also times where our super involved students get to attend leadership conferences, such as Leadership Summit. There's a picture of it there. Many different opportunities throughout the year. These are topics such as team building or ethics or even public speaking. That's a really important part to being a leader. You have to be able to communicate whatever your goal or vision is. So I will explain later how you can find out more about how to get involved in the different leadership workshops we'll be hosting this year. But that's a really, a great thing to add to your resume or your portfolio, to be able to say, hey, I attended this leadership workshop and worked on this particular skill. Okay, our student centers. So both Center and South Campus have a student center. South Campus, it is the John Lewis Student Center, which is K building, and at Center Campus, it's the Dimitri Student Center, which is P building. Currently at South Campus, K building is being renovated, so the Student Life office is in D building and looks a little different and has some streamlined services right now, which is a moot point right now because neither one of the student centers are open in the fall, but hopefully will be open in the winter. So I wanted to still touch on that. The student centers typically host the cafeteria, bookstore, game room, which I mentioned earlier, Macomb One Card photo ID station, has computers that you can use to check your schedule or maybe quickly check your social media, things like that. We also have a food pantry in both student centers. It's open to any student or staff member who needs it. You just need to complete an application with us. Right now, because the student centers aren't open, the food pantry also isn't open, but hoping to get that back up and running as soon as possible. If you are in need of some kind of financial assistance right now, and you think you could have benefited from the food pantry, you can always reach out to the SOS office, which stands for Student Options for Success. And although you wouldn't be able to access the pantry right now, there are other types of benefits and resources that are available to you if you find that you're in need of that extra help right now. Okay, I don't have a slide on this, but I do want to talk a little bit about one more thing. I've mentioned that we also run the Macomb One Card station in Student Life and Leadership. So that's your student ID card. It comes to every student the first time you register for classes. It will automatically get mailed to you in a bright green envelope. And it is your student ID card. It can be used as your library card, your print card for discounts in the community. And it also is how you activate your refund preference, which is why you will notice that there's also a debit card symbol on it. So basically, Macomb needs to know if you were getting financial aid or scholarship money refunded to you. How do you want to get that money back to you? Well, you use the card to choose how you want to receive it. Basically, you use the card to create a profile with Bank Mobile, who issues all refunds for the college. And then once you've created the profile, you get the chance to choose to either have your refunds go to the card itself, which if you do that, activates the card as a debit card, and then all your refunds would go there. Or you could use a bank account you already have. And if you do that, then the Macomb One Card is not activated as a debit card, even though it still has the debit card symbol on it. And your refunds would go to the bank account you chose in place of that. Typically, your Macomb One Card also has your picture on it. That's if you took your picture or submitted a picture to us before you registered for classes. If you didn't get a chance to do that, it would have a Macomb M in place of the photo. Still works just fine. We are not able to add photos to cards right now while campus is closed, but once campus opens again to the public, if you got your card without a photo on it and you want to add your photo, you could visit the Student Life office and get your photo taken and order a new card at that time. And if you have questions about the card, how to activate it, or if you lost it and need to order a new one, you can contact us and we can assist you with that. So speaking of contacting us, I have my contact info on the last screen here. So again, my name is Jamie Valente. If you have any questions about any of this, you can reach out to me. Right now, I prefer by email, which is my last name, first initial, valentej@macomb.edu. Or you can call me. I am still available by phone right now at 586-445-7502. You will likely have to leave a voicemail with your name and your question and your contact info, and I'll get back to you that way. And then if your question is specific to Center Campus, I can certainly still answer or try to answer it. If need be, I can always forward it to Jen McCabe, who is the manager over at Center Campus. So I'm really excited for you guys. I hope you have a great year. I hope you get involved in some of our programming this year. Oh, I did want to mention how you can find more info about that. So you can always email me and say, hey, I want to get added to your mail listserv, and I will add your email and you'll get our monthly emails about upcoming events. And then typically we also keep our Facebook page updated. Our events for the fall aren't on there just yet. Hopefully they will be within the next week or so. If you add our Facebook page, it's just, it's our name, so Macomb Community College Student Life and Leadership, or you can type in facebook.com/studentlifemcc. That should bring us up as well. and you click on the events tab, typically all of our events and the information on how to get involved in that event will be listed there under that tab. And I'm hoping within the next week or so we'll have that updated. So yeah, I'm hoping that we see you guys virtually at some of these events this year. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Again, please feel free to email me or give me a call, and I would be happy to talk through any questions you have. And yeah, that's basically it. So you guys have a great semester, and let me know if you need any more information. Thank you so much.